Keep your eyes shut. Don't look outside and don't let evil thoughts creep in. Understand? She will be here soon. You have to follow these instructions if you want to avoid her control. Do you understand me, Mkpurunma? Her mother shook her gently, ensuring her daughter understood the gravity of the situation. Fear gripped her as she nodded to her mother's urgent request. How could she not be afraid when even her mother was trembling, and her aunts were huddled together? Mkpurunma struggled to keep her eyes closed as her mother held her tightly, but she couldn't resist peeking to see if the terrifying spirit they all feared had arrived. All she saw were her aunties trying to hide their tears while gesturing for her to keep her eyes shut. She attempted to comply, but her gaze was drawn to the dark cloud gathering outside their humble abode. She's coming, she muttered under her breath before squeezing her eyes shut again. The seductive spirit of envy, also known as Oringa, floated in through the doors and windows, seeking a vessel to possess. A mischievous smile danced across her lips as she observed the trembling humans keeping their eyes shut, their bodies quivering with fear. Her laughter echoed throughout the kingdom of Kiribati as she moved from one human to another. A chilling cold accompanied her presence, causing their teeth to clatter uncontrollably. Yet, none dared to open their eyes. How foolish they were to think she needed open eyes to enter a body. All she required was a soul tainted by envy and jealousy, and she would have herself a vessel to manipulate. You! Her long fingers pointed accusingly at Mkpurunma's auntie as she whispered into her ear. She stole the man of your dreams. She basked in all the love you yearned for from your parents. It was always her. And her. Never you. Why do you continue to pretend to be happy with her? Deep down, you know you hate and despise her. Her voice pierced the air as Mkpurunma's auntie screamed in anguish. Mkpuru couldn't resist the urge to open her eyes and witness the terrifying scene unfolding before them. Her auntie now stood upright, like she was floating on air. She advanced towards the small object resting on the stool, the very same object used to style Mkpuru's hair earlier that day. With it held like a weapon, her eyes blazed with envy as she headed towards her mother. Mother, you must open your eyes. Mother, she's coming to harm you. Mkpuru repeatedly slapped her mother's lap, desperately trying to rouse her from her trance. Meanwhile, her auntie moved closer, each step accompanied by eyes ablaze with red flames, the same flames that encircled the seductive spirit. Mother! Mkpuru's pleas fell on deaf ears as her aunt urged her to hurt their mother, claiming she had taken everything from her. Please, mother. You have to open your eyes and run. She's trying to hurt you. Mkpuru begged, torn between confusion and panic. Just as her aunt stopped in front of her mother, poised to strike, her mother's eyes snapped open. Ziki! Stop this! What are you doing? Don't let her control you. You don't hate me. Her mother screamed as she held her possessed sister. They struggled while Mkpuru wept. Despite her sister's overpowering influence, her mother fought back hard, struggling to stop her sister from piercing the sharp object into her body. Do it! Mkpuru heard the spirit whisper as it suddenly materialized behind her aunt, causing Mkpuru to weep in anguish at the chaos and confusion unfolding before her. Her mother was about to die at the hands of her own sister, and she could do nothing but watch. Stop! You wicked spirit! Get out of our home! She screamed, feeling utterly helpless. Oringa turned towards her, her intense gaze fixed on her. Mkpuru shuddered at the sight of her red eyes, but at the same time, her aunt was slowly coming back to her senses. You're too pure for my liking. Your heart is too innocent. Your face too beautiful.
Behold. Oringa remarked, moving away from Mkpuru and focusing on her aunt once more. Do it. Once she's dead, you can have everything you ever wanted. Oringa pressed as her laughter rang louder. The knife was dangerously close to her mother's eyes when her father rushed in, pushing her aunt aside, causing her to hit her head on the floor and lose consciousness. No! Oringa screamed and vanished, as there was no one left for her to possess. Minutes later, her aunt woke up, only to find herself tied up and banished from their land. Please, I don't hate you. It was that evil spirit that made me do it. Don't leave me in the evil forest. Though it happened long ago, Mkpuru still hears her aunt's screams as she was cast out for allowing envy to consume her heart and for letting Oringa take control. Every single night since she was a little girl, she always dreamt of Oringa. And her greatest fear was encountering that seductive spirit of evil face to face.